I decided like my war on food has to be over. Like truly, I hate food. I joke about it all the time, but it's true. And that's sad when it's something you have to do at least 3 times a day.
People don't even know what it is. People think milk is not butter. They think eggs is dairy. They don't understand. If you don't live the allergy life, there's so many misconceptions about a dairy allergy.
You put side by side, like your Christmas break last year compared to your Christmas break this past one.
Oh,
night and day.
Night and day.
A totally different way of living.
Yes. Welcome back to EpiPod. Danielle's had anaphylactic food allergies her entire life.
And Sarah is a food allergy mom to 2 kiddos.
Managing this invisible health condition can feel so isolating.
Do you also feel like you have a degree in overthinking?
If you're nodding your head like me, then you're in good company.
Let's get you off that allergy island right now with people who get it.
Ready to dive in?
Hi, Sarah.
Hey, Danielle.
Wait, are we on?
Yes.
Okay.
The looper.
We have trauma.
Yeah.
We have allergy trauma, and we have the times that we've recorded things for you guys and it hasn't worked.
Yes, but we are on. We're rolling.
Okay.
Also, it's season 2.
Happy
Episode
New Year.
1 of season 2. Happy New Year.
That's exciting.
We're so back.
We're so back.
We're frazzled, but we're back. The year has been wild.
Oh yeah, you just got back from Miami like yesterday.
And
I just drove into town. Like I arrived here at like 10 p.m.
That's crazy.
Like the dog is here because he's puking all over the Airbnb.
Oh my gosh.
Everything's fine.
Everything's going to be fine. That's for sure.
Everything's going. That's
true.
Something we can count on.
All right. We'll meet in the middle there. So it's been a long time since we recorded.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously somebody could have just finished the last episode in season 1 and you're here for season 2, and thank you for continuing along. But for us, we've had a big break from seeing each other, from recording, and a lot has changed. Like a lot has been going on. So give us your quick recap of like life, and then also just allergy wise. If you've listened to previous episodes, you know Danielle is no longer doing OIT.
Peace.
You can go back and listen to those. There's a big explanation there.
Yeah.
But you're also, I mean, I feel like you're trying new things. This is like new year, new things for Danielle. So tell us more.
I've never gone peace in my life. What was that? It's like a gremlin like took over my body.
Well, it's a big deal.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, did I tell them that my apartment had rats?
Yes.
Okay, great.
I think we talked a lot about the rats.
Oh, okay, great. I don't remember. I've blocked it all out. Right. Control Alt Delete my memory. So I left Austin unexpectedly right before the holidays because my townhouse that I was obsessed with, it was like Barbie Land IRL, had rats. And they were dying in the walls, and there was poison everywhere. Anyways, so I was like, I'm gonna put everything in storage, go home for the holidays, and I will deal with this in 2025. Well, we are here in 2025. Mm-hmm. Sarah was like, hello, are you coming back? Because I was in my hometown with my family cosplaying as Rapunzel or like a hermit, like a shut-in. And that's what I do when I go home. I haven't worn clothing like this since maybe like twice. For like a holiday, like went to the Nutcracker Ballet or whatever, but I haven't since I've seen you. Like I put this on. I like had a jump scare walking in here because I was like, "Whoa, who's that girl?" So it feels great to be back. I'm a nester. I love my nest. Mostly allergy things. I don't want to be too far away from my kitchen. Yeah. So I'm really in 2025, really trying to push myself to embrace the life stage that I'm in versus seeing it for. I don't know, having this weird perspective of it, of to feel legitimate or to feel normal to other people who are your same age. Like you have to be tied to one place, even though there's no reason for me to be. Yeah. So I'm just taking it by quarter essentially, because I don't like moving around too much. Yeah. For at least the rest of Q1, I'll be in Austin. Yay. And what I did, updating allergy wise, and it's all sort of tied together, is because I stopped OIT, I was like, okay, I guess I just have to live my nightmare for the rest of my life. And I was had to grieve it. And I still cry about it sometimes, being all that I hope for, being able to kiss a hot guy if I'm in Paris and there's a hot guy, dreams, vision board, or I can try a sip of someone's drink and not care what they had for lunch earlier. Just those dreams that I had going into OIT and trying to like arm wrestle a program that is amazing and works for so many, but was not for me and the way my brain works. I had to grieve it. And then I sort of like rest, and the rats in the moving was just like so intense. After like a few weeks of rest in El Paso, I was like, okay, like, no, this, like, you don't have to live like this for the rest of your life just because OIT wasn't it. Like, all right, then what will open up your world? If that made your world smaller instead of bigger the way that the program is supposed to, then how do we make your world bigger? And so I spent a lot of time over the holidays journaling, like, who did I used to be? Like, truly, before, even after that big accident where I went to the hospital, like, who was I? Essentially, like, before the pandemic made me so closed down and like my palate even more picky than it used to be. Mm-hmm. And like, how do we work back to that lifestyle? And I thought it was OIT, and it was like, no, there was no cheese at the end of that tunnel. So like, where is the cheese then? It doesn't mean like, oh, you're gonna just die in this tunnel without hope. So I sort of like backed myself out of that tunnel, like wept a little bit, grieving my way out of that tunnel, and have like searched down a new one, which is I read Ina Garten's memoir. And I loved it. Oh my gosh. I love listening to audiobooks if they're read by the author and it's about their own life, like Matthew McConaughey's Green Lights. As an audiobook, you feel like you're in a reader's theater.
I haven't done it yet, but I have heard wonderful things.
I mean, it's a great book, but don't read it. You have to listen to it. And this is somebody who's like against audiobooks, but I listened to Ina Garten because I wanted to hear her stories and her little giggles. And I decided like my war on food has to be over. Like, truly, I hate food. I joke about it all the time, but it's true. And that's sad when it's something you have to do at least 3 times a day. And so I just decided like, okay, if I'm going to probably end up cooking most of my meals for the rest of my life, or maybe not, like hopefully I go back to restaurants eventually. But right now, if I am cooking most of my meals for myself right now, I'm not going to eat off of a kid's menu in my own home for the rest of my life. Like, I'm going to become an excellent cook. I'm going to learn how to love cooking and love food. And I'm not going to joke that I hate food anymore, because the truth is, like, when something's delicious and safe, like, I love food. So I am committing to one new entree recipe a week, and I'm working my way through her cookbooks, Julia and Julia style, except it's Danielle and Ina. And I started with something, I basically only eat chicken and salmon. Like, I don't even eat other types of fish. Okay, sometimes I'll dabble in a Chilean sea bass, but just because like it's so on brand, Chilean sea bass, like, hello. But yeah, one new entree a week. So hopefully by the end of the year, I have 52 new entrees, and eventually I'm going to have to get away from the chicken and fish. Most recently I tried scallops, which I feel like is like a soft entry into the world of shellfish.
For sure.
Less scary. Like, it looks a little like chicken raw, instead of like buying a lobster. And it was scary because even though all my blood tests and my skin tests have come back negative for shellfish, it's the first thing that any allergist has ever asked me, like, oh, and you're allergic to shellfish too, almost. Like, they assume it because it is so common for that to be a cross-reactive thing. Like, a lot of people with peanut allergies have shellfish allergies.
Okay, I didn't realize they were crossed like that.
I don't know if they're like the proteins are very similar, or if just like the frequency of having both is very high. But yeah, every allergist I've ever been to has been like, and shellfish? Like, expecting me to say, I'm allergic to them too. And like, personally, I know some nut allergy friends who are also very allergic to shellfish and have had like reactions at restaurants from a baked potato because it was cooked in the same water as like the lobster or the shellfish had been. Like, things where I don't clock it because I don't live with that allergy. Right. So I was like, okay, well, I would never order something with scallops off of, like, I love going to sushi in LA. My favorite place is called Sugarfish. And I would never order the scallops. And my best friend was like, why don't you like just try something other than the salmon? Okay. And I'm like, well, I've never tried scallops. So like, now is not the time. Like, we're going out on a double date after this. Like, hello. So I was like, okay, well, kill 2 birds with one stone. One, teach myself how to cook and like end my war on food, personal vendetta. And 2, I think this will be like a good stepping stone to eventually go back to restaurants, because I'm not going to order shellfish off the menu if I've never tried it in my own home before. So yeah, it's been hilarious and exciting. I made a roast chicken It was on New Year's Eve. I was like, all right, we're kicking off my year of the food adventure with a roast chicken. And Sarah, I don't even eat dark meat. Like I only eat chicken breasts that are already like deboned. So like,
wow,
pulling the giblets out, like I was dry heaving the entire time. My dad was like, stop it. You're making me feel sick. So I was over there like,
oh my gosh.
Like it was,
I mean, chicken is kind of gross.
The neck.
Yeah. It's pretty
the bones,
gross.
the ligaments. Oh
Not
my
interested.
God. The claw, they're little like,
I usually make Mark cut the chicken. Like I'll cook it, but I don't want to cut it.
No, I've never cut a chicken in my life.
Yeah.
Ever. No, other than like slicing a chicken breast. Like I don't do that.
Yeah.
So it's been really fun to challenge myself in a really positive way. Like I felt like I lived with like this elephant's foot on my chest, challenging myself every day. Like I would have to hype myself up for the next day's OIT just to like get myself in a good headspace and like no negativity in the morning and don't read news because what if something pops up? Like there were just so many things that I had to like white knuckle just to not lose my ever living mind. It's really fun to challenge myself and do things that scare me, like try shellfish for the first time. But it'd be like really fun. Like I get to go to Whole Foods and I get to listen to the French music and I get to share it with my family or a friend that I've invited over. And I get to like have a little nibble and wait the full 10 minutes to be like, okay, now you have to have the whole thing. It's fun to have a challenge that's positive instead of a challenge that just feels like it's wrecking me.
And it feels like it's on your own terms. Like you're making the rules. Do you think that plays a part in why you're feeling more jazzed about this challenge rather than like the actual food challenges in OIT?
I mean, like going to an office, like teaming with children, like also doing OIT is a totally different experience than feeling like I'm cosplaying like Martha Stewart documentary over here with my collard greens and being like, what is this herb? Like, what is this herb? I don't know. Like, am I allergic to saffron? What is saffron? Oh, just kidding. That's tarragon. Oh, well, they're the same color. Like, it's a lot easier to romanticize.
But do what you got to do to like get out of your comfort zone and to have something for you that's not only just fun and exciting and like a challenge personally, but allergy wise. I mean, it's not easy. I feel like if you're listening to this and you're not an allergy person, it's like, dude, she's just cooking. But it's like, no, for like an allergy person who's picky and worried about different ingredients that you've never used before, this is a massive mental load.
Oh my gosh. I made, what was it? French onion soup right before I left. It took me almost 5 hours, but it was like, to any normal person, it's like, it's just French onion soup. And to me, I'm like, well, but I've never made that before or bread from scratch, which I did both. Thank you. But like it's researching like 6 things I have never had before. I don't know like what this, whatever, like old varnish style cognac, like what is that? Like what goes into cognac? I went down a rabbit hole, as all our allergy people know that you have to do. But it's been so much fun. And I think another narrative that I had all throughout OIT is like, you're not just doing this for yourself, Danielle, like you are doing this for the future happiness of your future partners, for your future kids, like for like, how do you nurse a baby who's also like trying the allergens, and what if they've had nuts in the past 24 hours and now it's still in their saliva, but they like won't take the bottle. Like there's so many, like I future trip. I don't even know if I want kids, but like I think to my future and I'm like, no, this is also for your future family and for the future people who love you and the people who like my mom and dad, like that would totally take a weight off of their shoulders. So I think I really grieved that too. Like, wow, like the game won't change for so many other current and future people. And so with something like this, it's super exciting to be like, look at it in a positive way. Like I can be like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to be the best person at making a roast chicken. Like my future kids are going to love roast chicken. Like they're going to go to school with like a chicken juice or whatever this French term is. Yeah. So it's like, it's very healing to repaint and like get to rewrite the things that felt like a death at the end of last year, or I guess it is the end of this summer when I decided like, I can't keep doing this to myself, to be able to like go back and be like, okay, that wasn't it, but I can rewrite it in this way.
Yeah. That's amazing. And I think for anyone listening too, who's going through something similar, it's such a like inspirational thing to take something negative or even just like a closed chapter and find a way to not even spin it a different way, but just literally start writing again.
Yeah. And I think like food allergies aside, like if you're just somebody who has a food allergy person in your life and you're listening and you're like, I don't even have a kid who has a food allergy. I eat everything without having to talk to a waiter. Like if you're an adult listening, we forget like how much fun learning new things is and like how important that is for our little brains. Like whether you're a mom who's like, so much of your brain and attention goes to helping little people like with allergies literally stay alive and be healthy and safe. But just in general, like keeping a little person like entertained and alive is huge. And you don't have as much time for yourself, or like even as an adult who just has me and this crazy dog to look after, it's like, I forget how important it is to be bad at things, like how fun it is to like show up and try a new hobby and be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like last year, and I do this pretty much every year. Last year it was figure skating, like adult figure skating.
Yeah.
And this year it's cooking. So like pray for the place that I leased for the spring that I don't burn down their brand new house.
Yes.
But I'm having so much fun, and it's such a reminder, like going back to childlike wonder of just not knowing and loving not knowing. Oh. Gatsby's in the studio with us today, and he's protecting us from whoever's outside the door.
Good boy.
Yeah.
Good boy.
Okay, your turn.
Well, speaking of OIT,
now it's time to hear from one of our sponsors, Lorissa's Kitchen.
Get 20% off the only certified top 9 allergen-free meat snack at lorissaskitchen.com. That's LORISSAS kitchen.com. Use promo code EpiPod.
Not only are they certified top 9 allergen-free by Menu Trinfo, they use 100% grass-fed and finished beef or free-range poultry, and they're zero sugar.
Lorissa is an allergy mom that knows the struggles firsthand and founded Lorissa's Kitchen to enable everyone to snack fearlessly.
Use promo code EpiPod to get 20% off your first order at lorissaskitchen.com. LORISSAS kitchen.com.
So I think I mentioned in some of the previous episodes in season 1 that we are likely going to do OIT for Ethan for his sunflower seed allergy. So I don't know if any of the other episodes I mentioned that like we've called and made the appointment. I don't think so. But like officially starting. So unfortunately they didn't have anything to start until the springtime. But I was like, what if I call back? I'm so anxious to start because it's like, once you make that decision, it's like, I don't want to sit here for months and just keep thinking about it over and over again. I want to just get going. Maybe that's just my personality. Excuse me. But I did call yesterday and said, hey, any cancellations? And they can take me in February. So like really soon. We'll be doing like day 1 OIT starting for Ethan. You know, it's just sunflower seeds. It's, I think in TIP, the program we're in with Graham, you know, you do all these different foods all at one time. So we're very much, our brains are structured that way. But with Ethan, we're like, oh, like, not that it's going to be easy, but it kind of feels in comparison like, oh, we just have to give like one food. And then wait a little bit. I think the wait's going to be hard for Ethan because he's a crazy boy. He's a wildcracker, tornado type personality. But I mean, he's also seen his brother do it for, I mean, since the beginning of time, basically, since the beginning of his little life. And so in a way, he's a little bit excited because he gets treatment like his brother, which is so funny because it's like, dude, you don't want to be in this situation, but you know, they just know what they know. And this has been such a huge part of our family's story. So I'm really excited. I'm not necessarily nervous, but I do obviously want things to go well. I think I know what to expect. So that's a good thing. Again, like being already a treatment mom with Graham. But there will definitely be some like different protocols and different rules. So I'll have to brush up on all of that, but I'm excited, and I hope it's not a super long treatment program. We have to go weekly. And I think the doctor said we could possibly be done in like 4 to 6 months.
What?
I know.
Oh my gosh, Sarah.
I know. So it might work out to where Graham and Ethan are both like, I don't know that Ethan will ever be free eating through the OIT program, but like really safe and like able to eat plenty without having any sort of issue. So yeah, it feels like this is the year. I hope. I hate to ever get ahead of myself, but I feel like this is the year that we could reach a lot of freedom for our family.
Just seeing your Instagram story over the holidays.
Yeah.
Of like you guys road tripping and being able to stop for McDonald's.
Oh my gosh.
Or like,
yeah.
Now he knows how much he loves donuts.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Everything is different. Everything.
Your whole, like if you put side by side, like your Christmas break last year compared to your Christmas break this past one.
Oh,
night and day.
Night and day.
A totally different way of living.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I mentioned in the last season how Graham reached his like milk food freedom. And that for us was, it felt like we graduated the program because milk is just in everything. Anybody with a milk allergy child knows. I mean, it's like impossible to go out and do anything because everything has cheese, butter, whatever. And people don't even know what it is. People think milk is not butter. They think eggs is dairy. They don't understand. If you don't live the allergy life, there's so many misconceptions about a dairy allergy, or they think it's lactose intolerant, or they think, even if they have a reaction, it'll just be itchy or a stomach ache. And it's like, no, actually, it's an anaphylactic allergy for us, just like it is, for people with peanut allergies. So, that is just such a hard allergy to manage on the day to day, especially as a young person, like going to school and people are passing out donuts or treats for holidays and things like that. So when we reached milk food freedom, it made our life turn upside down, but in the best way.
And to know that everything else was cross-contamination safe.
Right.
Like you weren't worrying about anything with may contains this holiday season.
No, none of it.
Wow.
And now we're at a point in the program where Graham is eating like a solid, like 18 peanuts, which is
like what, like a cup of peanuts?
Yeah. I mean, it feels like a lot. But he's eating the same amount consistently for 4 months to like really just train his body to be like this kind of large amount of peanuts every single day is totally normal and okay, and you're good.
How do you get him to do that? Is it still the frosting?
Yes, we still use frosting.
Like, I can't imagine any normal person other than like my mom's best friend who lives in South Carolina and like they're obsessed with boiled peanuts there. Like she eats peanuts like I've never seen anybody eat peanuts before. But other than that one specific human, I don't know anybody on planet Earth who's like, yep, gonna eat 18 peanuts every single day is a crazy thing to do.
It really is. It really is. I think, again, it helps that in his program, you work up so slow that like it does feel like a lot. And sometimes he does give me a little like, I don't want to. And I have to be like, okay, you can have a couple more minutes and then we have to, but it's like he didn't go from 0 to 18.
Right.
So I think it helps that the slow build got him there, and he just knows that this is what we do.
And like I know only a little bit from OIT, but like it's such a crazy like scent and smell. Like I can't.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, for someone who's never eaten it before.
Right.
We tried a peanut butter and jelly for the first time and he hated it.
Of course he did.
Of course. It was, the texture is sticky and it's a lot because he has to have a, very specific amount to equal the 18 peanuts. Yeah. And he doesn't really even like jelly, and then it's a lot of bread, and it was just like a no. But the fact that he even tried it, I think is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're in really good shape allergy wise when it comes to their treatment programs. I hope.
Why can you remind me and like everybody? I can just like hear people being like, wait, why would you not put Ethan through TIP?
Yes.
When you like, even just hearing you say like, well, I don't know if he'll ever have food freedom the way Graham does. I'm like, that's so topsy-turvy that your kid who only had the one is now going to be more restricted than the one who before had so many. So can you go back over that decision of why?
Yeah. I mean, it feels like a complicated answer, but like the bullet points would be, I think the fact that he only has one allergen versus Graham's long list, the fact that sunflower seeds are in far fewer items than Graham's long list, like milk and eggs and, that sort of thing. I also think it's personality. I don't think that Ethan would be as willing to sit there and eat a bunch of different foods. And the way the TIP program works is you don't just treat the one food, you treat foods that are similar to it. It also costs a lot of money. And both boys are getting older and it requires a lot of time. I mean, flying to California and all of that, it just doesn't fit right now. We feel like we're like at the end of this TIP journey and we just want some ease in our life. So I think it's different for everybody to make that decision. I also think when we started TIP, we didn't have any other option for Graham. Now I feel like, we're going to Aspire, Dr. Silvers, where you were going to, and he really feels like it's not just going to be, hey, you have to eat this thing every single day for the rest of your life and you only get bite-sized protection. I mean, the way OIT is kind of working now with a lot of patients, especially ones like Ethan, who, he did a challenge and he could tolerate a couple of the doses before he started reacting. So he's hopeful and thinking that we can get Ethan to a point where he is not maybe free eating, but close. Yeah. And not even having to do a dose every day for the rest of his life, but maybe, 3 times a week and then once a week. And that feels a lot more doable, which is one of the reasons why I think a lot of people, or I didn't love the idea of OIT 5 years ago, was because it was like, you're going to have to eat 5 peanuts for the rest of your life every day, or else you step off the cliff and, so that's like the Spark Notes version.
I love that. I love that. As time goes along, there's like, all right, here's a program with some hope, but here's like a long list of negatives. And now as time has gone along, even just a handful of years that you've been doing treatment with your boys, it's like, actually, now we know this. Totally. And it's a lot more positive and a lot more doable. I'm obsessed. I'm so excited for you guys. I am too. So happy both boys have found something that's going to be right for you all and right for their different personalities. And 2025, I have just like full body chills for you right now.
Oh, thanks. Now it's time to tell you about a company we're really excited about. TelyRX ensures you always have access to an EpiPen. Effortlessly request a prescription online and order an EpiPen for next day delivery. The 100% online process takes minutes and is free of videos, photos, and lengthy forms. And it gets better, Danielle. There are no membership fees or insurance complications.
Okay, also rest assured that TelyRX ships temperature-sensitive medications in insulated packaging, which you kind of need if you live, for us in Texas.
Anywhere in the South.
Anywhere in the South and this time of year.
It's important to make sure that the medicine actually works effectively.
Yeah, from the jump. Explore the selection of over 100 medicines for the next day delivery and use the code EpiPod to take 20% off. TelyRX is on a mission to make access to essential medicines simple, convenient, and affordable. Visit TelyRX.club/EpiPod.
Oh, thanks. I always hesitate to be like super excited, but then I read something the other day that was like, why let like the possible something in the future like wreck your happiness and hope now? And it's so true. It's like, part of me always like dims my light a little bit because I don't want to get so excited about something that could crumble at the end of it. But it's like, right now, things are great. Right now, we have so much hope. So like, I have every right to be excited and screaming it from the rooftops.
Also,
why not?
Right now, you're doing things that were hard nose, extremely dangerous, less than a year ago.
Yeah.
So like, I totally get not wanting to celebrate something until it's actually real. Like, until you have the keys in hand, like you don't have a new car, like until you walk down the aisle, like you haven't gotten married, like anything could happen. And then you have to grieve everything that you thought. And when you're already have grieved so much with allergy life, it's like, I'm not going to put myself through more than I already have been through.
Yes.
Like enough, but you can celebrate what is already real. Like your face still feels like it has changed. Yeah. Like you feel so much more light. Yeah. Like just seeing you be able to go to Miami on the girls trip that you were on.
Yes, I'm gonna have to talk about that too.
Your reality already is just so different. And I'm so honored to like be able to watch that as an outside perspective. I'm so proud of you.
Aww, and thank you.
This has cost you and Mark dearly. Like you guys have put your whole chest into making this happen for Graham. And so it's not like you're celebrating something that just like happened, wished upon a star and may go away. It's like, yeah, anything might happen, but like this didn't just plop in your lap and may fly away like a startled sparrow. Like you worked your butts off for this. And that is so worth celebrating.
Yeah,
so I'm glad that you guys are.
Thank you. Yes. And this trip I went on, it felt like a little celebration too for me because it's a little easier for me to leave. I feel like Mark's in a really good place. Like the boys are safe. So like no matter what they did, you know, they had a little more freedom and Mark had a little less worry being like a solo parent.
Yeah. You had less to juggle.
Yeah. So I went to Miami and I saw one night I saw one of my old friends I haven't seen in so long and just like partied and had fun with her, which was great. And then the like majority of the trip,
I saw her and partied. I just love that sentence.
I saw her and partied.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I'm obsessed.
Wait, why is that funny?
I don't know. I just like in my head, like Sarah is like
not a partier.
No, like
I was out really late.
No,
that
I know.
night.
You were showing. You had like a
little,
cut up.
Yeah.
There was like tummy showing.
Well, I had to figure out what to wear in Miami because I'm like, this is not just going out. This is going out in Miami. Like,
no, it's different.
If I wear my clothes, my normal clothes, like it's not right. Like it's not the vibe.
No.
So I had to buy new stuff.
I'm obsessed.
And
I feel like I saw a glimmer of like, if you and I went to college together.
Oh, for sure. That was a way different Sarah.
No, I was like grinning ear to ear, seeing your outfit photos and like eating all the allergy things.
Oh, yes.
But like just that sentence, like we went out and partied.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
What?
She's connected in Miami and like doesn't have kids and newly married. And her husband's like in the kind of entertainment service type industry. That sounded like he's the male gigolo. He's not. Oh my God. But like male entertainment industry, like that sounds like a stripper.
Yeah.
He is not. He wines and dines VIP clients, whatever.
Wow.
So like they're connected. Yeah. And so we went into like the hottest bars and clubs and things. And I was like, what am I? Who am I?
Gosh.
But it was fun to pretend for a night and have fun. But then I met up with such a wild, crazy idea that I was like, I need to host. So this is like vision board, right? Like this is not now, but like to host a food allergy mom retreat. So just basically like a fun vacation to get together with other people who get it. I mean, the reason why a lot of people listen is because they want that. And so I'm like, I should plan something like that. But as you know, and anyone who's listened, like I don't have the time to like add something else. But I was like, you know what I do have time for is a little vacation. I wonder if I could gather a small group of food allergy moms and just be like, hey, you want to go on vacation with me?
Do you want to meet me in Miami?
Yes. I mean, that's essentially what I did. I like my friend Frankie, who I talk with a lot, who we met on the internet, but we just became friends, like closer over time. And she was like, yeah, duh, I'm in. And then we each kind of like thought about people who we talk with a lot on the internet and just like invited some people. And they said yes. And we went to Miami together and like shared a condo and like went out for drinks and went to the beach and, talked. One night we were up till like 2 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
Drinking wine, eating peanut M&Ms and just like talking about all things, non-allergy, but like a lot of allergy things. And it was so nice to just be with people who every word out of your mouth, they're like, they get it. Totally. They understand. They have their own stories and like you can just relate to each other. And I just love that so much. Everybody needs like allergy friends. Everybody needs to be able to connect with somebody else. It makes all the difference in the world. And to be able to have a conversation about something that you maybe even are worried about being judged for. And then the person listening does absolutely zero judging and instead says, oh yeah, me too. It just makes the hugest difference in an allergy person's life, an allergy mom's life. And so I'm really grateful that we have that here on this podcast and I have that with you and I had that on this trip as well. And I really do one day to be able to offer that to more people.
Not me being the like protective friend being like, no, no. Like you have too much things on your plate. Like go to yoga.
Yes, I need to do yoga.
Go on one at like a 2 date nights this month with my.
I know.
Okay, well that does sound fab. So do it. Yeah. But in the meantime, you guys should go on vacation with each other.
Yes, totally. And that's what we did. And it was just the best. It was so fun. And the weather was perfect. So like that makes it all better when you're, leaving dreary weather. Some of these girls they were from everywhere, like all different states. So like some people were coming from -degree temperature.
Oh my gosh.
Like for weeks to sunny Miami. So that was a fun thing too.
I love it.
Yeah. But that's kind of my wrap. That's my update and my allergy things. And I'm excited to kick into season 2.
I'm excited to get into season 2. We have a lot of exciting guests coming up.
I mean, just that we know of. I mean, we have people who are going to be talking about breastfeeding and allergies. We have people talking about being in the workplace with allergies and how to like travel and do work things. We're going to be talking about food allergy grief. We're going to be talking about like, how to find reputable people to watch your kids or how to put them in daycare. I mean, we have our topic list is long, and I think it's a lot of the things that people ask us to talk about.
Yeah. We got a lot of feedback from you all over Instagram, but as always, send us DMs, send us emails is probably easiest to organize.
Yes.
For topics and like specific people or specific companies that you want to listen to. For example, people were over the break being like, can you get somebody from Neffy on there the way you had somebody from Xolair on there? Like that was really helpful to hear from a medical professional, but who's from the actual company. And you can ask the things that we wish we could ask.
Right. The normal person might not be able to ask like
So we did get into Neffy's emails. And we're working on scheduling that. But if there's another Xolair out there or not that there's another Xolair out there, but if there's another company out there that you're like,
or experts or anyone you want to hear from,
email them to us because so we're already like in several months of episodes of planning guests.
Yes. We have to work ahead to fit it into our lives. So send it to epipodpodcast@gmail.com or you can message us on Instagram if you'd like. And then, also leave us a review in season 2. We have some amazing ones that just filled our heart, but also it helps like our podcast in general reach more people. So, if you have a quick second to write in and tell us what you like or what you want to see or any of your thoughts, we'd love to do that and hear about it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen, YouTube too.
Yeah.
Yay.
I am really proud of you for all of 2024.
Same. Back at you.
I really feel like for both of us, 2024 was sort of like we were building and like setting ourselves up for 2025.
Yeah.
And now we get to sort of see some of those fruits or take some of those leaps. So
yeah, here we go.
Yay.
Thanks so much for joining us on EpiPod, and we will be back next week with something brand new.
Yeah.